Aston Villa, league champions only 7 years ago. European champions 12 months after that. A glittering prelude to an alarming decline. Until Graham Taylor arrived, Villa Park had become an undignified battleground. Internal conflicts created disillusionment amongst the faithful. Taylor has been a stabilising influence, but are they ready for this?
And Ray Houghton has set up the goal.
Kenny Dalglish, old poker face, isn't interested in comparisons, yet his carefully moulded team of extroverts operating within a disciplined framework could well be the best ever produced at Anfield. Immaculate, yes. Invincible, no.
It's deflected goal! Gary Stevens!
Liverpool's only defeat of the season so far against Everton in the Littlewoods Cup. Well, good afternoon from Villa Park. The unbeaten First Division leaders against the Second Division leaders Aston Villa, who've just taken the field. Really classic ingredients for this FA Cup fourth round tie. And just look at this famous old ground, Villa Park. Just 1,700 short of a capacity 48,000, and that's because Liverpool returned that number from their allocation of 12,000. But a very strong Merseyside representation here this afternoon. The biggest occasion at Villa Park since 1983, when Juventus were here for a European Cup tie. And record receipts of £200,000, absolutely guaranteed. It really is superb. Well, our guest today is Andy Gray, who's seen good times and bad at Villa Park. What a bus.
This is what Villa Park was built for, Elton. This is what's been missing for about 4 or 5 years. And I must say it's magnificent to see it. The only disappointment on my part is that I'm not out there with them.
I mean, I've never known an atmosphere in this ground for 5, 6 years.
That's true. I mean, this is what it's capable of in Birmingham. If Graham Taylor gets it right, this is what the Midlanders are capable of putting on.
How good is this new Villa team, Andy?
I think we'll find that out in the next hour and a half. I think they're good enough to be skating away at the top of the second division. And it's going to be a great test for them today against the team who's undoubtedly the best in the country.
Are they ready for Liverpool?
Again, we'll find out in an hour and a half. I think they're looking forward to it. For about the first time in 4 months, the Villa Park lads can go out and then actually enjoy a game without there being too much. No one expects them to win. They can go out, they can enjoy it, they can relax, and I'm looking forward to a tremendous game.
The fans are singing "There's only one Andy Gray," but they don't mean you, do they?
No, they don't. It's more's the pity, Elton. More's the pity, but no. Let's hope the young lad does well. If he enjoyed himself as much today against Liverpool as I used to down here, he'll have a good day.
Andy, we're going to enjoy this tonight. We are going to enjoy it. Well, let's now join our commentary team, Ian St John and Brian Moore. And Brian, 1 or 2 changes in the Liverpool team.
There are indeed, Elton, but let's first look at the Aston Villa side with Nigel Spink in goal, a back four based on a good mixture of youth and experience at the centre. 31-year-old Alan Evans, 21-year-old Martin Keown. Midfield, former Crystal Palace man Andy Gray. Well, he'll have a vital role to play. And then up front, Gary Thompson and Alan McAnally. 2 big, strong, bustling and potentially dangerous strikers. Liverpool, significant changes here. Bruce Grobbelaar gets the nod from Kenny Dalglish after missing the last 4 games with injury. Mike Hooper loses his place. And a change in the back four. Gary Gillespie's got a thigh injury. Gary Ablett gets a rare chance. There's also been a strong buzz that Alan Hansen is suffering from knee problems, but he's there. And another blow for them in midfield. Ronnie Whelan is injured and out. Nigel Spackman takes his place. He's been sub often enough this season. And then up front, Peter Beardsley and that 20-goal man, John Aldridge. Our referee today is Keith Hackett from Sheffield. They don't come any better. Just learned, in fact, that he's to be an official at the European Championships this summer in West Germany. The last time Aston Villa won the Cup back in 1957 and they beat Manchester United at Wembley, the man on the left there, Johnny Dixon, was their captain that year. And the gentleman on the right, Eric Houghton, was his manager, a grand old man of Villa. And it's lovely to see them enjoying the atmosphere and everything else here this afternoon. So, a round in the Cup that's already produced its surprises. And I suppose not many people outside the Potteries gave Port Vale a chance yesterday. Who's to say what Aston Villa can do, particularly now that Liverpool have had to make 1 or 2 changes in midfield and defence. Well, away we go. Aston Villa in those claret and blue shirts attacking the goal to our right. Liverpool today in a change strip of white. Liverpool 17 points clear at the top of the first division. Aston Villa 4 points clear at the top of the second. A classic confrontation with all the atmosphere to go with it. Here's young Tony Daly. You'll need to watch him, and so will Liverpool, because he's really quick. Venison gets it away to Aldrich. Houghton plays it on towards Beardsley, and Keown gets it back to Spink to get his first touch. We've said it so often before that Liverpool may be wobbling a little bit with their injuries, but they've got such a depth of talent that they clearly, in spite of that, will be outstanding favourites today. Thompson unable to make progress. Ablett. Ian St John with me. Ian?
Well, it's significant the way Liverpool have lined up that Nicol is playing alongside Alan Hansen at centre-back. And we were discussing before the game, we thought maybe Spackman would play there, possibly Ablett. But they've decided that Nicol would be the man for the job. That's interesting.
And Ablett here at left-back, getting in quickly. Spackman seated in the centre of the midfield alongside Steve McMahon. This big Alan McInally and Alan Hansen with him. Paul Birch. Stopped by McMahon, a free kick to Aston Villa. Andy Gray and Kevin Gage, number 2, the former Wimbledon player. Big Alan Evans gone for this one. It's Gray with the free kick, looping in there towards Daly. Daly got his head to it, and Grobbelaar with the catch. Aldrich. Bertie Gallagher with Villa's throw. Flicked on by Thompson. Here's McInally. And, well, Nicol had trouble and, in fact, failed to keep pace with him. Here's Birch. This is a good, lively start by Aston Villa. It'll do their confidence no end of good, and they get a corner. The first of the game. Martin Keown, 6'1", is forward there at the near post. Alan Evans, 6'1", is there as well. Gary Ablett, and Liverpool with a bit of defending to do here. And it goes behind for the corner. Paul Birch will take this one. Andy Gray's in there. Mark Lillis, big lads in there as well. Flick on. And it's Andy Gray again. And a deflection that Grobbelaar had to pounce on at the near post. Beardsley. And Evans telling Spink to get back. Thompson, Birch. 2 Villa players down there, McInally and Thompson, and Villa get a free kick and indirect. With it driven wide. Oh,
well, it's certainly a bright start by Villa, Brian, causing Liverpool more than just a little concern. And it was interesting, you know, the corner kicks. It's the one thing I think about the Villa side, that they can cause Liverpool problems at corner kicks and set pieces. One thing, Graham Taylor's teams have always been very good at set pieces. He works a lot on them, and this team is no exception. They'll give Liverpool problems today from that.
Up goes Evans, wins it well. 10.5 seasons he's had here at Villa Park. McAnally in his first season. Steve Nicol, well positioned, gets it away. It's a Villa throw. Now Gray possesses a good long throw. And there's an example of it. Gary Thompson beaten by Alan Hansen. Bernie Gallagher bounced awkwardly for him. Nicol playing it forward to Beardsley. Another Villa throw. Spackman, Aldridge, in goes Gage. Made his debut just about a year ago for Liverpool here at Villa Park. Hansen versus McAnally. Hansen wins it. Now Barnes. He's hardly had a touch in these opening minutes. Ablett finds McMahon. Forward for Aldridge. McMahon again. Stopped that time by Lillis. And here's McAnally. And Benison getting it back to Grobbelaar. Bruce Grobbelaar, who missed 4 games when Hooper came in. He was injured in a training accident. Needed some stitches and a wound at the back of the leg. Hooper, who in the 4 games that he played while Bruce was out didn't concede a single goal, but then Grobbelaar didn't concede a goal in the 4 games before that. 8 matches since Liverpool last conceded a goal. Well, play on, said the referee, as the challenge went in there. And it's McMahon who's injured, and I think it may be Lillis. Trainers waiting to come on, and substitutes warming up, and indeed both men are on now. It's a ferocious pace as we expected, Ian.
Well, I don't think you expected anything else, did we? It's you know, it's a real hothouse today here at Villa Park, and the tackles are flying in, but the referee, I think quite rightly, is trying to allow the game to flow, and the boots were up a little bit high, but he decided, well, both players went for the ball, let's just carry on. I think that's a good policy by Keith Hackett.
Well, Lillis okay, and it looks as though it'll be a drop ball on the far side there. Daly getting it back to Spink, didn't quite carry. Spackman. Both sides out in the 3rd round of the Cup last season. Villa went out against Chelsea, and Liverpool went out against Luton Town. But a real good pedigree about both these clubs in the FA Cup. Andy Gray. Nicol. Aldridge. It'll go back via Bernie Gallagher to Nigel Spink. Daly trying to get in, Benison holding him at bay. Here's Ray Houghton. Barnes to Houghton, Beardsley to Ablett. Play towards McMahon. Good break this by Liverpool, and Martin Keown defending well. But the vigour and the enthusiasm of Aston Villa in these opening 10 minutes or so has meant so far that Liverpool just haven't been able to impose themselves on this game, but that was an indication that things are beginning to move a little bit for them. Houghton missed his kick. Gage gets it away. Thompson on the chase. And Nicol back to Grobbelaar. Up goes Evans. This is Gary Ablett, Liverpool lad, 22 years old. John Barnes. Aldridge. Ablett. McMahon. Beginning to knock it around a little bit now, Liverpool. Venison. Houghton. Daly getting back there. Nicol for Liverpool. Hanson. Aldridge is away, but Evans checking him well. Really been a buzz about this place since early morning. Hanson just snapping it off for Ablett. Ablett again. It's a lovely place for big-time football, this, and Villa now believe that they're beginning to get a side together to match the surroundings. Nicol gets it back. Barnes. McAnally. Andy Gray. Ablett. Evans there first. McAnally challenged unfairly from behind on Gary Ablett.
This big fella, you know, could cause Liverpool a few problems. I watched him last week playing against Manchester City, and very strong, as he showed there. Runs well with the ball, and you know, he looks a very good player.
Came down from Celtic in the summer.
That's right.
Beardsley, who's in good goal-scoring form. Barnes. Oh, slipped through beautifully by Barnes for Aldridge, and the referee spreads his arms wide and says no penalty. That was a controversial moment. I wouldn't have been in the least surprised to have seen the finger pointing to the spot there. Ian?
Well, I mean, without having seen it again, it certainly looked a penalty.
Houghton. Ablett. Crossed in, Gage getting it away. Spackman playing it in. Here's young Bernie Gallagher, another young Scot. Gallagher. Look at the run here by Gray. Oh, bobbled and caught him on the knee. Hanson. And now Venison. McMahon. Barnes. No foul. Well, he's renowned as Keith Hackett as a referee who likes to keep the game moving, and that's what's happening now. Barnes. In goes Tony Daly. Seems to be everywhere on this field, and now an example of his pace. Just look at that, electrifying stuff, and offside against McInally. Well, he argues, but he clearly was offside. Never a doubt about it. But also there was no doubting the electrifying pace of young Tony Daly. Venison. Free kick to Aston Villa. Gage. And Hansen. Oh, what a ball, bad ball there by Hansen, straight to Gray. And Paul Birch has made the most of it. McMahon knows this park well. He played for about 2.5 years at Aston Villa. Steve McMahon. Certainly a controversial moment, Ian. Was it a penalty or wasn't it a penalty? As Barnes played it through.
I think the point is, did the defender go for the ball and did he actually get it? Keown there, I don't think he got the ball.
I tell you what, that looked a penalty to me. And you?
Well, yes.
Gary Thompson. Alan Evans. Aldridge's header, straight to Barnes. But he and Beardsley weren't on the same wavelength, and Keown gets it back. John Barnes, of course, who was groomed for First Division football by the Aston Villa manager Graham Taylor when he was at Watford. One of the game's little ironies that I suppose he offers as big a threat as anybody to Graham Taylor's team today. Keown doing well. McInally, here's Spackman. Nicol. You've seen them much more than I. I can't recall Steve Nicol playing often as a central defender.
Well, that's the first time I've actually seen him play there. I mean, it should be no problem to him because, I mean, he's a very experienced international player now.
Gallagher, out comes Spink.
I've been quite impressed actually with Keown of Aston Villa today. I mean, he's got a fair turn of pace and he's not been had any problems at all, you know, with the pace of Beardsley up front or Aldridge.
Good jump by Nicol that time. Here's Lillis coming in with a shot, and Grobbelaar forced to dive across and save it. I think the whistle had gone for an infringement. But a good strike for all that by Lillis. May have been a handball as he was controlling it.
I think Bruce would have held it had he not had the whistle.
Now Daly. Ablett. Evans again winning it in the air. Spackman. Here's Keown. Houghton leaves it for Venison. Gray. Out of play, Liverpool's throw. Houghton. Beardsley, lovely turn, and Keown was back at him though. He beat Keown once, but the young defender didn't allow it to happen a second time. Lillis looking for Birch, a slip by Ablett, and suddenly it's 3 against 2 in favour of Aston Villa. Birch clipping it over, and Thompson couldn't get to it.
He really should have done better there, Brian. I would have thought a shot was certainly on. He was looking for the little chip ball, but really from that position, you know, he should have had a whack at it.
Barnes. Very unfortunate slip by young Gary Ablett, though.
It was, you know, they got through, and really, as I say, Villa should have made more of it, because you don't get that many chances against Liverpool, you know, against First Division sides, and you've got to make them count.
McMahon. Got the better of Gage this time. Aldridge there, trying to play it in for John Barnes. Aldridge. Plenty of Villa shots there, though. Spackman. Here's Evans. A foul by Aldridge. Free kick to Villa. Two sides in outstanding form. Villa have won their last 5 and unbeaten in their last 11. And Liverpool, as we well know, unbeaten in the league and only 1 defeat all season against Everton in the Littlewoods Cup. So there should be no shortage of confidence in both sides here. Gray, as he showed there. Tony Daly to Paul Birch. Ablett to Grobbelaar. So we're halfway through the first half. That's gone very rapidly indeed. And still 0-0. And still 0-0. He's offside. And Gary Thompson in a bit of trouble for Aston Villa. Well, I was saying a bit earlier that both sides have a good FA Cup pedigree. Aston Villa have won it 7 times. That's a record equalled only by Tottenham. The last time was in 1957 they won it. Liverpool have won it 3 times. The last time they won it, of course, was 1986. Aldridge. Gallagher away. Again, McAnally up well. Thompson getting into the battle again. They're real run-busters characters, those two. Here's Ablett. Good break by the youngster now. And Lillis losing it to Beardsley. Oh, superb save by Spink. And Villa get it away for the corner. A magnificent piece of goalkeeping by Nigel Spink, but also a brilliant strike by Peter Beardsley. Struck like a dagger, and so very, very quick about it. Liverpool's first corner of the game. John Barnes with it. Whipped in off the crossbar by Aldridge. Tremendous stuff now in this 4th round cup tie. 0-0 still. Another corner for Liverpool. John Barnes again with it. Again curling in wickedly there. It'll come for Spackman. And it might come from Aldridge. No, knocked away again. Barnes, Villa in trouble here. McMahon going past them all. Again, no penalty. It's with Barnes. Crossed in once more. Andy Gray with a backward header, giving him a little bit of respite. Speckman planting it again, and Birch, to the cheers of Villa fans, at last getting it away to relative safety. Now Hansen. Absolutely deafening here. Close on 48,000. Barnes. Beardsley. Stopped by Evans. Here's Birch. A lovely ball by Paul Birch, and the run here by Gage. With a bow cross. When Villa were crying out for a good one, but a good run forward nonetheless by Kevin Gage, the former Wimbledon player. And a goal kick for Liverpool. Martin Keown, Tony Daly, and now Steve Nicol for Liverpool. Evans, Steve McMahon, again Keown in quickly. A dummy by Beardsley, but one that Gage was not prepared to buy. Barnes. Beardsley. Houghton. And now Lillis dragging it away for Villa. Support alongside him from Andy Gray, and right forward, and it was the wrong ball. Barnes, Spink, here's McMahon, Houghton, and a good break here by Venison, just wide, tremendous break by the young fullback there.
Well, it's quite significant now, Brian, that Liverpool will get more and more into the game. That a dodgy opening 10 minutes, I felt they weren't really getting to grips with it, but now the passes are beginning to be strung together. They're getting players through from the back, and a great run there from Venison, and only inches past the post. So it's looking actually a bit ominous now for Villa.
Thompson, Ablett gets it back. Gray, McAnally, Lillis, and McAnally is down, touching his left knee. He's up now. Meanwhile, Ablett takes it up for Liverpool. Here's Beardsley. Keown is with him. He's shaken off Keown, but not Gage. Beardsley, the cross comes in, and Villa just happy to get it away anywhere. It was Birch who finally got it forward, and then Gallagher, and Liverpool looking more and more menacing, having drawn the sting of Aston Villa over that first quarter of an hour. Still 0-0 with half an hour gone. Barnes. Houghton. Beardsley. Nicol. In goes Evans very quickly. But if you can hear the singing at home, you can hear it's all mostly at the moment coming from the Liverpool fans talking about Kenny's army, suggesting that they feel that Liverpool once again are on the march, but it's still 0-0. Well, there is the man whose army they're cheering on the right, Kenny Dalglish. And here's Steve McMahon, the first man he bought when he became manager of Aston Villa, of Liverpool, buying him from Aston Villa. Another corner then for Liverpool. They've taken it quickly. A short run and it's with Barnes, and now it's with Ray Houghton. The little chip coming in, Kevin Gage getting it away for Aston Villa. Ablett playing it short again for McMahon. A long drive that deflected. Gage getting it down the line. Ablett, Nicol, Beardsley. Here come Liverpool again. Stopped that time by Gray. Finding Daly. Now we're going to see some more of his pace. Free kick.
The little fellow was wearing his cycling shorts there, Brian. He can certainly get on his bike, can't he?
He's wearing some extra shorts there, as you could see, Tony Daly, because he's had a lot of trouble this season with a pelvic injury. In fact, he's only played 2 or 3 games before today this season. Well, here's the free kick. Evans with it. Hansen away, only as far as Gage.
I mean, that is squandering. That's twice he's done that. One with a cross and then with a shot there. And you just can't afford to do that, Brian. You know, anything at all, just knock it back into the box. But certainly, what he did there was, you know, terrible.
Martin Keown, a header directed straight to McInally. McInally going through the challenge of Hansen. Andy Gray. Well, proving with that sort of shot that he's an optimist.
I wonder how many goals he scored from that distance in his career.
Well, he's got 2 this season for Aston Villa. Played a lot as a striker in his Crystal Palace days. Robillard with the kick. Beardsley. Lillis. Daly. Came off the Liverpool player. There are the shorts we're talking about, cycling shorts. They're made of rubber, actually, to keep the heat in a little bit, apparently. Gary Thompson. He's unhappy with that challenge by Spackman. The play goes on with Gary Thompson down and Liverpool again coming forward. Hansen to Barnes. Head-on collision though with Alan Evans. And now McInally on the chase. Robillard started to come and then went back. Now McInally. Oh! Robillard got a touch to it, and as well that he did. And it'll be a corner. In the meantime, Gary Thompson needing some treatment. Tremendous break there by McInally.
Well, we did say that McInally could run a bit, and a big strong fellow, and it was a good effort actually, and a good save by Bruce Grobbler. As you can see here,
Bruce was getting back again.
Bruce came out and then went back, but held a good position at the near post and made the save.
Needed to make the save as well. That would have crept inside the far post.
It's just a pity nobody else could get up and support actually when he broke away. Well, as we can see there, Thompson couldn't, because you know, he was lying on the ground at the time.
Well, this is, I think, Andy Gray getting some treatment from Liverpool. Roy Evans. While the Aston Villa physio, Jim Walker's looking after Gary Thompson. can't remember a noisier occasion than this. The crowd are absolutely tremendous, aren't they?
Well, I mean, we're not that far off the crowd here because it's a low gantry here at Villa Park, and all the Liverpool fans are right underneath us, and they're all in good voice.
First sight, and what a game. And Villa with the corner. Paul Birch with it on the far side. Thompson better again and poised to jump at this one, and so was Grobbelaar, but he lost it. Keown was in there. Another corner. He's done so well at the back, Martin Keown. 21 years old, and now up there to cause what mischief he can in the Liverpool penalty area. Paul Birch again with the corner. Alan Evan up's there as well, and Gary Thompson, and McAnally. They're up there in force. Our Aston Villa flicked on, and Ablett it was coming in to slice it to the safety of touch. Villa's throw. No goals then, with about 8 minutes to go to half-time. Barnes, Ablett. Steve Nicol, Andy Gray, Willis throw. Look at the excited faces in that crowd there. I mean, it's a great day for the Midlands. They're still 0-0 though. And a goal kick. What a great war horse he's been for Aston Villa. Alan Evans, 10.5 seasons here. He's only just back after injury. He's had about 5 games since he's back from injury. But the defence is always going to be better with him in it. Beardsley, Aldridge, Spackman, Houghton, McMahon, Nicol, Hansen, and now Houghton. Gary Thompson after him. That just was the spur that Houghton required, and on he went, the length of the field almost, trying to play it inside for Aldridge, and Alan Evans thought the best way out was a corner. Great run by Houghton.
Well, the Villa have had a problem, Brian, at corner kicks this afternoon, and they had last week against City. We'll just see how they handle this one.
Well, it's Barnes with it. Looks like he's going to curl another one in towards that near post. Here it goes. Just clipped off the top of Mark Lidis's head. Ablett forward. Nicol couldn't get a touch, but now he will. At least he'll let it run out for the Liverpool throw. Ablett. Spackman. Barnes. Here comes Gray. That's a free kick.
Gary Ablett's having a good game for Liverpool. I think it's the first full game he's had this season, but he's slotted in well this afternoon, playing well. In fact, he's the only player on Liverpool's side that didn't cost any money.
Liverpool lad too. Alan Evans. Gage. Birch. On the far side, nobody there for Villa. Venison. Aldridge. Had one or two half chances, Villa, when you think that Liverpool incredibly have not conceded a goal since December the 12th in a 2-2 draw at Southampton. They are just about the meanest team in town, and when you do get a half chance, you really have to make it stick. But it's still 0-0 as we come inside the last 5 minutes of the first half now. Hansen. Hansen again. Nicol. Up goes Keown, beats Beardsley in the air, finds Tony Daly, gives it straight to Spackman. Venison. Houghton. Daly. Another free kick. Quick word from Keith Hackett for Barry Venison. Have to give credit to Aston Villa for this pitch as well. It's in incredible condition considering the amount of rain that there's been sweeping across the Midlands for most of the week. Good firm top as Gallagher plays it towards Gary Thompson, flicked on by him, but he was pushing down on Steve Nicol. It'll be a free kick for Liverpool. Evans. Very neat. Tony Daly. Hansen. There has been this talk about him having a knee injury and not doing much training this week, the Liverpool skipper, and looks as though he's doing just as much as he has to do and not much more, Ian.
Well, he doesn't look 100% fit, but having said that, he's such a good player that he can stroll through the game, you know, even not being fully fit. He's a marvellous player. I think he's probably the best centre-back in the Football League.
Now he'll have some work to do. It's Gary Thompson bearing down on him, and Tony Daly inside, still with Thompson, and it was Houghton coming back to help out. Hansen. A minute and a half of the first half remaining. Houghton. Barnes. Houghton again. Got a handful on the far side there for Gallagher. Beardsley. Oh, but Gallagher came away with it well. More than that, he's looked for McInally, who slips at the crucial time. Here's Hansen. Barnes, nice play. Barnes for Liverpool. Aldridge, no foul. Evans hobbling badly, but he'll run that off. In any case, as in the last minute of the first half, he can get some treatment at half-time if he needs it. McInally chesting that down for Birch. Andy Gray, a little bit of space for him. Gives it to Ablett, though. Barnes, touch to McMahon. And now for Houghton. Here's Barnes again. Liverpool coming forward. Evans stopped them. Andy Gray hitting it straight at Ablett. Beardsley played it lovely now for Houghton. He's got Aldridge waiting in the middle. Keown just holding him off for the corner. Playing time added on right at the end of the first half. Beardsley. A little chip in by him and saved by Spink, who made it look so easy. Lillis. Hansen down at the moment. But Beardsley goes on for Liverpool. Aldridge waiting in the middle. Barnes is coming up in support as well. Beardsley may not need him, but some good checking there and blocking by Kevin Gage. As the half-time whistle goes, a really rumbustious and at the same time skillful and exciting first half, with Villa, to the vast delight of a vast crowd, more than holding their own. And it'll be interesting to get the views of Andy Gray with Elton Wilsby after the break. Half-time then here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 0.
Come on, it'll be good.
No, it won't.
It will.
It won't.
It will.
She'll be there.
Who?
Joyce Oliphant.
Joyce Oliphant. She won't be there.
She will.
She's probably forgotten all about it by now.
She won't. I know she won't.
Look. She won't be there.
Look, I'm not going, okay?
You can try.
What? Your Cavalier SRI?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
The Cavalier SRI from Vauxhall. Once driven, forever smitten.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet, the mild cigar.
There's a star-spangled offer from Air Tours this summer that brings you the #1 entertainment center, Florida, from just £299, including free car hire. It's not just a holiday, it's an action-packed chance to live the American way, fast. You'll find all the excitement of Disney World, Kennedy Space Center, and the wildest fun of all at Orlando's Watermania, and much, much more. Simply book through your travel agent or phone for your Air Tours Florida brochure now. Have a nice day.
High in polyunsaturates, low in saturates, low in cholesterol. Latta, a new low-fat sunflower spread.
This month, spend £5 at Sketchley's and walk off with 20% off shoe repairs.
Use ordinary SP batteries for an hour each day, and after only about 10 days inside, they're out. Duracell batteries, however, will serve the full term over 30 days hard labor. Duracell, no ordinary battery looks like it or lasts like it.
So, 2 years in New York, and he thinks he can tell us how to run things. Well, we won't have it.
It's all right. I fix things. He's traveling overnight on the red-eye.
Not first class.
Of course not. Company policy.
By the time he gets in, he'll be exhausted.
And he won't have had time to incorporate those new figures I sent him in his report.
He'll be hungry and tired.
I've arranged for the chauffeur to bring him straight here, not to the hotel.
Like a lamb to the slaughter, gentlemen.
Good morning. New Club World delivers the businessman ready to do business.
Pleasant trip.
Yes, thank you. New Club World from the world's favorite airline.
Well, no goals at half-time here at Villa Park, but really five-star football in terms of cup tie entertainment. I think we all agree with that, Andy.
I think so. It just shows you that you don't need goals to make a cup tie out, and it's absolutely been blistering. The pace has been tremendous, and I think we've all thoroughly enjoyed it. I know the 46,000 to 48,000 out there certainly look as if they're enjoying it.
If you were in the Villa dressing room now, what would be worrying you? paramount importance, do you think, to sort out?
It looks a bit ominous at times in the first half, where Liverpool just started to get the game together. I think the boy John Barnes, at times, he gets himself in that little in-between position, in between the back four, in between the midfield, and I think Villa have had trouble in exactly knowing who to pick him up.
Curiously, one of the first instances of that led to the penalty appeal that Keith Hackett refused. But let's say it from the absolute start.
That little position there, no one quite knows who to pick him up, whether someone should come out the back four or not. He makes a great run at the defence, which he's always good at. John Aldridge makes a magnificent run. When we've seen this, I think both you and I thought it was a penalty. If things like that win you cup ties, then...
Point of impact.
Yeah, we'll get a good view here. It looked to me as if John Aldridge just wins the ball. And Martin Keown just took his leg. I think Villa, I haven't seen that. Well, quite fortunate. I mean, I've seen Keith Hackett give penalties for less than that.
Well, I was just wondering whether it came possibly a little bit early for him.
It might have done, but it looked a good shout for a penalty, and Liverpool could probably consider themselves unlucky. But apart from that, Villa have defended really well. They've had their backs against the wall for a number of...
They break well, don't they?
They do.
Liverpool do look a little bit susceptible to pace. McAnally, there's Birch and Daly. But Birch really had a great opportunity here, didn't he?
Fullback makes an error here, and it's funny enough because they've looked good whenever somebody's ran at them and used their pace. McAnally's done it as well. Just in this instance, though, it annoyed me because both strikers, as you see there, have gone near post. And I think if one had only pulled far post, it would have given little Birchie an option. But both strikers have gone near post. I'm sure Graham Taylor, if he sees that, he'll be disappointed.
I mean, they do say strikers hunt in pairs, and that really wasn't good teamwork.
I think they were a bit close to each other there, and that was a very good chance for Villa. Very good chance indeed.
Well, Liverpool had that tremendous spell, Andy, then, didn't they, when they literally bombarded the Aston Villa defence. It was the old stages, the likes of Alan Evans and your old mate Nigel Spink, who really kept them out for that period.
They had a great 20 minutes where they got to grips. They started finding space, and this is when, as you say, Alan Evans, and this is a great run from Beersley, sees it brilliantly. And of course, Nigel Spinks is having a magnificent season. I mean, that's a great save. But that's been the hallmark of Villa all year. They've soaked up pressure, they've scrapped away, and they've defended in numbers, and they've broke away and scored goals. This is much more like an away tie for Villa. They've had to defend for long periods of time, but as we've seen first half, they're prepared to defend in numbers, but I think that if they're going to win it, they're going to have to take a chance a little bit more.
Will Graham Taylor now, Andy, be saying, look, I mean, they are susceptible to pace. I mean, we saw it again, you know, fairly near the end, didn't we, when McAnally broke down the right-hand side. Once again, you know, that was great encouragement for Villa that he got through.
I think this has been the one ploy that should give him some confidence in the second half. And if Graham Taylor's seen it, he should be saying to his players, that is what we've got to do. Run at them, get somebody running at them. Actually, Bruce makes a fine save there. The angle was a bit tight for Alan McAnally, but he's had a good strike, and that's where they've looked. Alan McAnally done it on the other side early on in the first half when he got away from Steve Nicol, and I think they've showed if they can get the ball into the striker's feet and they can get turned and going at the back four, it's when they've looked suspect.
Andy, we'll talk again. Thanks very much for the time being. The second half here at Villa Park, possibly about 3 or 4 minutes away. So we're going to take a short break right now. We'll be back.
Here, what did yours have, Ruby? Rest sirloin of beef, ricotta mayonnaise, washed down with champagne. What about yours?
Fillet of sole belle meunière and the Macon Village.
Looks more like a muscadet to me. Mind you, I'd have gone for the Sancerre myself.
And I think you'll find the Sancerre a little rather low.
The Pullman, for those who know their petit pois from their petit four.
One cruise line will fly you free to the Caribbean from your local airport. There you cruise around to exotic islands and will fly you home again free. Pick up the Royal Caribbean Cruise brochure from your travel agent and fly free to paradise.
Achoo! Achoo!
Don't let a stinking cold get you down. Contact 400 gives relief for up to 12 hours.
Lucky man. You've got the north. There's a lot of it.
do with that data?
Don't worry. I'm on top of it.
There's more to life with Renault.
As Sunday newspapers have evolved, we've seen every style, from the probing investigative to the downright sensational. But for those who value sharp, concise, and intelligent writing, the Sunday Telegraph is the natural selection.
Before your great-great-grandfather was born, Clerical Medical knew the future belongs to those who prepare for it. Over the years, Clerical Medical has helped thousands of families enjoy security, even when the future seemed quite uncertain. Today, Clerical Medical cares for over £3,000 million in investments, pensions, and life assurance. Ask a financial advisor.
Clerical Medical, we remember the future.
When you put Esso petrol or diesel in your tank, you're not only getting quality you can count on, you're getting an Esso Tiger token for every £6 worth of fuel you buy. And whether you're a high or low mileage driver, you have a variety of quality gifts to choose from. So collect your Tiger tokens and put a Tiger in your tank, where you see the Esso collection sign.
New terminal facilities at Heathrow. Wider seats on 747s. All part of a better business experience from TWA.
And welcome back to Villa Park. The second half of this cup tie just about to get underway then. Remember, Liverpool in the white shirts attacking the goal to our right. Keown, Andy Gray, back to Nigel Spink. 29-year-old goalkeeper, such a hero, of course, in that 1982 European Cup final when he came on as a substitute and held Bayern Munich at bay. And really, as he looked back since, came on as a substitute for Jimmy Rimmer, if you remember, right back early in that game in Rotterdam. Essex lad. Gage. Aldridge. Falls for Barnes. Now Beardsley. And Tony Daly. Getting it away for Aston Villa. Venison to Nicol. It's a cup tie, really, Ian St John, that Aston Villa will want to settle in these next 45 minutes here. They wouldn't relish a trip to Anfield on Wednesday night.
I would agree with you there, Brian. I'm sure they would want to win it this afternoon. But I do feel that, you know, they've got to make a little bit more of their attacks than they've been doing. They've been squandering a lot of good position.
Ablett. Barnes. And it was Birch who got back. Trying to get Gary Thompson on his way, but the pass wasn't good enough. Thompson was outnumbered. Oh, but he made his presence felt there with a challenge from behind. It's a throw given. Alan Hansen. Ooh. A rare bad ball by the Liverpool skipper to Mark Lillis. Now Tony Daly. Bernie Gallagher. Daly. Well, they've been forewarned of his speed, and Venison kept him nicely into check, and a slight muddle and a rare one there in the Liverpool defence. Three of the defenders claiming that it wasn't a corner, but the outstretched arm of referee Keith Hackett saying without question that it was. That vast clock now behind Bruce Grobbelaar's goal. looking for the sort of action they want to see. Birch again with his corner. Alan Evans is in there. Keown's header. Gary Thompson's overhead kick and a goal kick.
Well, they're certainly getting the ball into the near post with a little flick on, Brian, and it's working all right. But you know, the second phase of that, you know, needs somebody to be more positive.
Well, Bruce Grobbelaar having trouble making himself heard, and I'm not surprised on an afternoon like this. Straight to Birch. Ablett there for Liverpool. Now McMahon, or back heel that goes straight to Gary Thompson. Andy Gray. Well, there was a foul on him. He handled the ball immediately after the whistle had gone. And the coach's young man ordering his skipper, Alan Evans, most senior man on the side, get forward now for this one. So Andy Gray then with the free kick. And it was Spackman, and then it's Lillis, who scored many a good goal in his time with Huddersfield Town and had a spell at Manchester City and then Derby County. Talking of Derby County, we've got nearly 48,000 here today. The record crowd at Villa Park, believe it or not, 76,588, a sixth round FA Cup tie back in 1946 against Derby County, who that year went on to win the FA Cup. A lot of changes at Villa Park since then, and the capacity now 48,000. Venison finding Ray Houghton, stopped by Andy Gray with the outstretched leg, and now Mark Lillis. Gray and Houghton getting a little bit involved there just for a moment off the ball. With the throw, won by Gary Thompson. Gallagher again with the header, Hansen with his, and then Lillis, and then Nicol. With the throw. Keown. Liverpool throw. Houghton. Keown. Lillis. Daly. Challenge was swift by Spackman. And still Daly kept possession. Keown in there as well. A real battle going on there between Aldridge and Keown. And in comes the 6-foot figure of Keith Hackett. And a free kick given to Liverpool. Venison with it. Beardsley collecting. Taken beautifully by him. And a corner coming off Martin Keown for Liverpool. Deep one to the far side. I think it was Evans who got his head to that one. And now Alan McAnally making the run from deep. They're after him like a pack of hounds. And it's McMahon who stops him. But just look at the tigerish challenges there by Aston Villa. And in the end, a free kick awarded to Liverpool. Furious stuff now in the second half. But the crowd really enjoying it. Birch. Gage. Oh, it falls for Houghton. Evans away. Up towards Thompson, and another free kick to Liverpool. And do you know, he blew his whistle as hard as he could 3 times, and nobody heard him. Little wonder. Just hope you're savouring this sort of atmosphere at home. It really is a real special occasion. Now, Nicol with the What about that?
That's the second time they've hit the bar. A very good header by Ablett. Acrobatic overhead kick by John Aldridge off the bar, and it just didn't drop kindly for Barnes there to get a shot on, but all exciting stuff, Brian.
Thompson and Spackman sparring up for a moment. Nicol. Beardsley, a lovely header by Beardsley for Houghton, knocked out by him towards Barnes! A brilliant goal! A masterpiece of a goal for Liverpool by John Barnes.
Well, it was good running there. Lovely little ball across there by Houghton. And a beautiful header, a lot of power in that header. And really, Spinks made a great effort to try and stop it, but to no avail. Here we get another look at it again. At first I thought Barnes was going to chest it down, but a real powerful header that.
Well, the whole movement about it from the halfway line onwards was absolute perfection. Barnes with a touch. A real tough test for Liverpool now, and Graham Taylor, the man who made John Barnes into a First Division footballer, could well find his Second Division side destroyed by him. Andy Gray. Well, a wonderful goal, without any doubt about it, and Peter Beardsley's part in it was there for all to see. Real England quality, and the England manager Bobby Robson here to watch them, and he's watching Beardsley now. Houghton. Gallagher. Thompson battling but losing to Nicol. Beardsley again for Liverpool. Trying to get it all the way towards Aldridge. Goal kick. Liverpool have turned the heat up now.
Well, Peter Beardsley, they must have said something to him at half-time, because he settled in a better second half. But that was a ball for the goal, a beautiful header, marvellous header.
Seen from the other side of the ground, and it looked as good to Liverpool fans from there as it did from the normal angle. And a booking for Lidis. Yellow card.
I think the extra pace of Liverpool just beginning to tell now, Brian, as the game wears on. And they're finding gaps, you know, behind the flanks of Aston Villa, and they've played some lovely little balls in there for Houghton and Beardsley.
Pedersen trying to release Houghton, and a goal kick.
That's the ball I'm talking about. It didn't quite come off there, but they're playing, you know, over the top and into space behind the fullbacks, and they're certainly catching the Villa with that one.
Gallagher. Daly. Keown backpedaling under pressure from Beardsley. And a throw to Aston Villa. Aldridge, here's Barnes. Oh, lovely ball by Barnes for Aldridge. chipped back by him, and Keown putting it behind for the corner. They're really under siege now, Aston Villa. Liverpool have come out with an even greater determination, and at the moment Villa hardly have a look in. Barnes again. Stopped that time by Andy Gray. Goal kick. Looked as though they had to be a corner. Certainly Houghton thought so. Spink with a goal kick. Up goes Thompson. There's Mark Lillis. Thompson again. Daly. And this time McAnally's onside. It runs for Birch. No power in that one, though. Keown's header. Spackman caught in the head, the face rather by Lillis. Quite accidental, though. That's where the noise is coming from. They seem never to get tired of success. And Liverpool leading here by 1-0. Without Gillespie, without Whelan. Changing the shape a little bit of their defence and their midfield with the likes of Spackman and Ablett coming in, but it seems at the moment to be making no difference. Nicol with the free kick. Barnes in the air. Up goes Gage and wins it. It comes to McMahon. And easy for Spink. Gage. Hansen. To the roof of the stand. Notice that Alan Evans went across to the bench for a word with manager Graham Taylor, who is now down from the director's box. Here's another long Andy Gray throw for Aston Villa. Grobbelaar came a long, long way to gather it.
That actually is part of the course with Bruce. He likes to come for long throws, and actually, when you think about it, the long throws cause defenders a lot of problems, but Bruce has decided if he comes in, that alleviates the problem.
Beardsley. It might come to Birch. Foul by Barnes on the Villa winger. So Graham Taylor in the centre there in the spectacles. John Ward on the left. And Jim Walker, the physio, on the right. And his Villa side a goal down to the header from John Barnes in the second half. McAnally just onside. Whipping it in first time, and Nicol gathering it up well. But then finding only Andy Gray with it. Now it's with Spackman. Keown. He's had a really steady game at the back for Aston Villa. former Arsenal player. For a time he kept Tony Adams out of the Arsenal side. Then he had a little spell down at Brighton, and really coming into his own here now at Villa Park. Now John Barnes. Keown. Gary Thompson. Lillis. Oh, and it might come for Daly. It might still come for him. And Grobbelaar blocked it. Gallagher firing it in again. And eventually it comes to Grobbelaar. The best chance fell to Tony Daly, though. And Grobbelaar positioned himself well, and it cannoned off his body.
Certainly the best chance of the game, Brian, for Villa, and what a pity they didn't capitalise on that one. He was left with the ball coming to him, his right foot, a good block there by Benison, and a left foot shot, and a good save there by Bruce, although it was coming straight to him.
So when you're only a goal down, there's always a chance, and Villa have just proved that. Thompson now for McAnally, stopped by Hansen. So another long throw from Andy Gray, with the local constabulary getting a close-up view. Well, that might go anywhere. In the end, it falls into the arms of Grobbelaar, with McAnally and Birch close at hand. Beardsley. His touch has been sure all afternoon. Aldridge. Back again to Beardsley. Onto the left foot. Straight at Spink. Some riveting stuff still. Liverpool leading 1-0. McAnally spraying it wide for Birch. Can he keep it in? Yes. Cross now towards McAnally. Grobbelaar gets it, but only at the second attempt.
You know, that's actually the Villa's best ploy now, is to get the ball in the penalty area, get Liverpool under a bit of pressure, you know, make sure that Bruce is working a bit, because if they try to play their way through, I think they'll have a problem. Get it in the box and fight for it.
I think also when you've got people like Gary Thompson and Alan McAnally in there, you've got to get your crosses in.
That's right, you've got to get a good service to him, and the Villa haven't been doing that, but I would think in the time remaining they've got to, Brian.
Beardsley, real little will-o'-the-wisp. Getting away from Andy Gray. John Barnes waiting in the middle. It comes off Keown. No, it comes off Beardsley. Goal kick. Coming towards the halfway mark in the second half. McAnally. Comes for Spackman. And now for Barnes. McMahon. Houghton. McMahon. Oh, what a good run here by Barry Venison. Corner. Up goes Gallagher. Oh, here's Barnes. And another one.
Shocking marking there by Villa. I mean, Barnes had all the time in the world in the penalty area. I can't believe it.
So Keown shakes his head and knows that he mustn't allow that to happen again, but here we are this time with Barnes, and now for McMahon, blasting it through, blocked by Gage. Beardsley. Keown is up twice. McMahon again. What a good ball. Spotting Spackman away on the right, or rather on the left, and straight to Spink. Ablett. All going all the way, and then Gage putting it away for a Liverpool throw. Houghton. Barnes, faced by Keown. Good ball by him to Daly. McMahon takes it up to Liverpool. A real foraging run there by the midfield player, finding Barnes delicately out to Beardsley. This could be trouble. Finds Aldrich, and overhead towards Houghton, and now Gage. Oh, the hearts were fluttering there a moment or two. So Liverpool keep up this pressure. A throw to be taken by Barry Venison. Beardsley. Spackman. Hansen. Back it'll go. Evans gets it back. 20 minutes remaining now. 1-0 to Liverpool. Kevin Gage with the throw. Tony Daly. Daly's gone past Ablett. The cross comes in, and Venison there for Liverpool. Misunderstanding there. Oh, a shot taken quickly by Andy Gray, but straight at Liverpool goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar. Daly. Spackman off the referee. Barnes. Houghton. Venison. Played almost into the path of Houghton. The opportunity was certainly there. Keown gets it away. McAnally. Nicol. Spackman. Venison. And Gary Thompson was after all of them. Throw given Liverpool's way. McAnally trying to get it to Tony Daly. Ablett was there first. Keown playing it through for Gary Thompson. He's got away from Nicol, but then hit it straight at Ablett. Keown. Good ball here for Birch. Barnes right back there. Keown. second chase. Alan Evans gets the better of it. Birch playing it on towards McAnally, a foul by McAnally, just as he managed to get the ball illegally into the path of Gary Thompson. At 1-0 down, you've always got a chance, but it's hard at the moment to see quite where Villa are going to score this goal, Ian.
Well, that is bad. I'm just looking at the front players, and they're not getting a very good service, are they? The Villa midfield aren't able to give them the type of ball that they might do a bit of damage with. And Liverpool, with McMahon really pushing on now, driving Liverpool ahead, as you see, you can't see how the Villa will do it.
Free kick to Liverpool. Gary Ablett with it. To John Barnes. Really was a super header that he scored with. Terrific readjustment of the whole body at the last moment to get in line for it, and now he gets a corner. McMahon. Oh, the ball here for Houghton. Little chip by him. Nicol with the header. And Spackman whacking it in again. And suddenly, oh, a lovely bit of play by Birch. But you don't beat Nicol twice. And Warren Aspinall beginning to warm up for Aston Villa. Striker. So maybe that's where Graham Taylor thinks the goal may come from. Ablett. And he's the top scorer with 12 goals this season. He's just had a period of suspension. He lost his place immediately before that. McAnally. Aldrich. Touch was just a little too firm. And they're going to take off Tony Daly. Well, Daly's speed from time to time has caused one or two problems. He had a great chance 10 minutes or so ago. The shot was blocked by Grobbelaar, but now Warren Aspinall's on to team up with McAnally and Gary Thompson up front. Free kick quite probably given against McAnally, jumping at an opponent, in that case Alan Hansen. And after the whistle had gone, it was, to be honest, quite senseless to kick the ball away as hard as that, because the one thing Villa haven't got, apart from an equalising goal, is a lot of time in which to get it. About 13 minutes, in fact. Well, Nichols' free kick going straight to Birch. Here's Barnes. McMahon. Houghton. Nicol. Keown versus Beardsley. Houghton. Got Beardsley in close attendance. Keown stuck well to his job there, and Gage gets it away. Thompson. Nicol. Thompson really battling though there, and then Andy Gray getting a little caught up. Beardsley. Gray. An obstruction there by Ablett, a free kick to Aston Villa. Certainly no shortage of spirit in this Aston Villa side.
Well, I mean, if they can't play today, Brian, it's a full house. They're at the cup tie. You know, they've got to have a go.
Their heads certainly haven't dropped for a moment. Even though they're still this goal down. Gallagher playing it in towards Gary Thompson. Here's Andy Gray trying to find Birch, but quickly Ablett was in, and Keown gets it back to his goalkeeper Nigel Spink. Well, it still falls Villa's way with Mark Lillis. Finds Aspinall. That's a Villa throw. "11 minutes left. Another long throw coming up. Andy Gray, the man, will supply it. Now, can anybody get on the end of it in that Liverpool penalty area? Up goes Gary Thompson, a little flick on by him, and McMahon gets it away. Keown again. Liverpool's throw. Plenty of animation and shouting on that Aston Villa bench, but it's making little impact on Liverpool at the moment. Now what's Grobbelaar? Oh! He had no chance of getting it back inside the penalty area, and never one to be short of confidence. Bruce just does a little shimmy past Aspinall and clears it up the line. And another long throw coming in from Andy Gray. Aimed again towards Gary Thompson. Mark Lillis is in there, but it was Spackman's header and McMahon's trusty boot that got it away, and now the chase is on, and Spink gets there first. An offside. Liverpool's free kick already taken. And on the clock, about 9.5 minutes. Gallagher. Ellison. Beardsley. Got Barnes again. Oh, it fell just a fraction behind him, and Gage can take it up now for Aston Villa. Hansen splendidly in control again.
He reads the game so well, Alan Hansen, doesn't he? You know, I mean, people say you can run Liverpool, but he always reads the play, and he knows when to break away. Tremendous player.
Keown with the free kick. Yes, he was asserting himself there again. Barnes. Barnes again. Stopped on the floor that time by Alan Evans. A foul on Andy Gray and a free kick to Aston Villa. Alan Evans is injured, holding his left calf. Talking about Alan Hansen, there was that very strong buzz that he wasn't fully fit before today's game. But I would imagine with Gillespie out and Whelan out, they felt that they had to patch him up somehow, and certainly he's done a good captain's job again.
Well, he's such a vital player that to lose both the centre-backs would have been a blow to Liverpool. But, I mean, they've patched up, as you say, and they don't appear to have been in too much trouble.
Well, Alan Evans, so vital also at the back for Aston Villa, is OK to go on as Andy Gray plays this free kick in, and Keown, no more than 2 or 3 inches away from getting a contact from there that even Grobbelaar may have found difficult to hold.
That was a smashing free kick as it happened. A lot of pace in the ball as he knocked it in there, and Keown must have only been inches away from it.
Been very impressed by him today, Martin Keown.
Yes, I must say, Brian, I think he's had an excellent game.
Houghton. Barnes. Ablett right up there. Stopped this time by Paul Birch, but there's no way back to Nigel Spink. Houghton had seen to that. Throw not taken from the right spot. Kevin Gage with it. Well, will McInally get to it? No. Aldrich might get to this. Okay.
Well, it's been a quiet game, John Aldridge, and yet he's hit the bar twice, and good effort there. But he really hasn't, you know, made a big impact in the game. He's been the quietest of the Liverpool forwards.
Keown versus Beardsley. Goal kick given. McMahon wins it. Keown beats Beardsley to it. Barry Thompson. Gage to Birch. Aspinall. So there we are, John Barnes' goal, 53 minutes, with now a little under 5 minutes remaining of this cup tie. Keown up again, beating Beardsley in the air. Aldrich supplying Houghton. In turn, getting it to Venison. Evans. Gallagher. Venison. Houghton. Well touched by him for Aldrich. Beardsley's waiting in there. Again. That toothy smile signifies another Beardsley goal that takes him into double figures for Liverpool this season, and without question puts the tie beyond the reach of Aston Villa.
Well, again, it was that little ball into the hole behind the full-backs. A lovely cutback and a beautiful side foot. It was an excellent goal. That had class written all over it. But as I say, Liverpool have been playing that ball into the box on either side. And it's been very penetrating. They've made some good runs in there.
Well, a cup tie that has gone Liverpool's way after an edgy period in the first quarter of an hour. And it looks like being settled by two absolute quality goals from John Barnes and Peter Beardsley.
You know, that goal reminded me so much of Greavesy when he was playing. He used to side foot the ball in the net, and it proves that you don't have to bust the net. You know, our old boss used to say that. Don't try and bust the net. You know, stick it in, slide it in. And that was a case of it. They just passed the ball into the net.
Away by Gage. You can hear them singing it. There's only one Peter Beardsley, and to support their case they would say that is 6 goals in his last 6 games, and he'd certainly get a vote from Kenny Dalglish. Free kick given. No, it's not. It's with Barnes. Barnes again. through them all, pulling it back, and Houghton was going in there, but Spink denied him at the last. Hanson up, Beardsley. Aldridge keeps it in. That looked like being a lost cause, but he now finds John Barnes. The last couple of minutes now. Well, may I have that dance?
Could you set that to music?
You could insert that to music. Andy Gray and John Barnes. Drop ball. And there'll be a few managers listening for the cup draw on Monday saying, let's hope we avoid Liverpool. Back by Gage to Nigel Spink. Here goes Beardsley again. Keown shadowing him. Beardsley goes past them all and stabs in a shot at the near post. And we're now playing time added on. Sorry, Ian.
Just going to say, Houghton was going mad there because he had a great position and all he needed was a little play back to him.
Your final verdict?
Well, I think class told today. You know, you look at the gap between the two teams and it's down to class. Liverpool international players, you know, and they show on the big occasion. Although I would say that Gary Ablett, I think, has had as good a game as anybody.
Liverpool go marching on. Winners here today by 2-0. The 2 goals scored by their two England men, John Barnes with a splendid header and Peter Beardsley slotting one in to make it absolutely safe right at the end. Applause all around the crowd from the Villa fans for a Villa side that battled and battled and battled away, and now will look to get promotion out of the second and into the first. And from the rapturous applause of the Liverpool fans, we're into the next round of the Cup. Nice picture there as the manager Kenny Dalglish greets John Aldridge. They're the Liverpool fans. It's the same old story for them, cheering on another Liverpool victory. Final score then at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 2.
Tennant's Extra. Extra taste, extra flavor. It's a mean pint.
You could get cheaper motor insurance by dealing direct with the insurance service. If it comes to the crunch, you'll be glad you did. The insurance service, 0272 232 232.
Greetings from Rio. Well, I did say if you played Portfolio Gold every day in the Times, you could bounce back a lot quicker than the stock market. It's not only worth £4,000 a day, and 8,000 on Saturns, but you automatically qualify for the Times Portfolio Accumulator. And that's worth 20,000 already. And it could roll up to 100,000 or more.
Play your personal Portfolio Gold card. Full details in the Times.
Here, Brenda, tell them how much you won. Go on.
That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Well, be honest, how many of you wanted Aston Villa to win this afternoon? Well, what we saw was an absolutely vintage Liverpool performance, Andy. Fair comment?
I think so. I think we all hoped deep down, certainly I did, that Villa could produce something today. But we've seen today, I don't think it's a case of when Liverpool are going to get beat, but when are they going to concede a goal? I mean, they've gone so long without conceding a goal and didn't really look, apart from
9 games now.
9 games in a row without conceding a goal. I mean, people must be petrified on Monday, 5th round draw.
The goals were sheer quality, and I think that the first one, you nearly hopped out of this little box.
I know,
up
I mean, this is one of the best goals I've seen for a long time, and it's a brilliant early cross. And that header from John Barnes, I mean, people say he's not renowned for his headering, but he could not
You'd
have
have been
gone...
proud of that, wouldn't you?
I've never scored a header as good as that, would you, Adam? But that was a great header, and an absolute... It was a great move. Peter Beardsley was involved in it earlier on, and he had a great little flick to Houghton, and he played a tremendous first-time ball in, and you can't ask for any more than that from John Barnes.
We'll talk again in a moment, Andy, but for now, let's hear from the scorer of that first and immaculate goal for Liverpool, John Barnes. He's with Jim Rosenthal.
Now then, John, Andy Gray, who's headed the odd goal in his time, said he'd have been proud of that one. I think it was the fact that you were leaning back, really, that made it such an exceptional goal.
I think it's the fact that I scored with my head which made it such an exceptional goal. As you said, it was a bit behind me, and I was thinking of volleying it with my right foot, bringing it down, but I saw Graham Taylor's comments yesterday saying about I hadn't got a right foot, so I decided I better head it.
Any sympathies at all for Graham Taylor, your old manager here today?
Well, you know, they're on top of the second division, and I'm sure they'll get promoted, so hopefully they'll get promoted, and at least now they can concentrate on getting it back into the first division. I mean, if you had asked them whether they'd preferred a good cup run or getting back in the first division, I'm sure their priority would have been back in the first division.
An absolutely exceptional footballing occasion, this one today, wasn't it?
Well, a big crowd. I think that this is what Villa Park needs, you know, 48,000, and you saw the atmosphere, so hopefully they'll have a few more good times in the future.
Can anybody stop Liverpool?
Yes, I don't know who, but someone might.
Thanks for joining us so fast, John. I appreciate it.
Okay.
They're always very cagey at Anfield, you know. They don't give a lot away, Andy, do they? But,
No, they don't.
Villa, let's hope they go well in the promotion race now, but they had so few chances this afternoon, especially after Barnes scored. Liverpool really seemed to tie it all up then.
They had a couple of half chances first half, but this was the one in the second half where it could have made all the difference. It's come to him quite nicely, and he's got the break of the rebound here. And, you know, Bruce has done well, but, you know, perhaps Tony Daley might aim for the far corner. Had that gone in, I mean, it's a case of who knows in cup ties, but that was probably their only real good chance that Villa had the whole game. I think second half, Liverpool dominated it. They looked as if, after they got the goal early on, they were quite happy with that, and they looked as if they played with plenty to spare.
And then all of a sudden they went up a gear, and another absolutely marvellous goal from Peter Beardsley this time.
The teamwork that's involved in these two goals is brilliant. There was another good ball before that, and John Aldridge just turned on this and played a great ball. And as he says, that's vintage Jimmy Greaves. Who needs to blast the ball when you can do that? I mean, funny enough, Peter Beardsley had been well shackled by Martin Keown.
Andy, I've got to stop you just for a moment, because Jim has pulled out Graham Taylor from the Aston Villa dressing room. Let's have a word now from the Villa manager. Jim.
Graham, do you think Liverpool really set the standards that you're going to have to follow, hopefully, next season?
Well, I think they're setting the standards that everybody's got to follow next season. They played very well and put their goals away well, didn't they?
What was the turning point of the game from your point of view?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think when the first goal goes in, then, in fact, I think most people start to worry about chasing a one-goal deficit against Liverpool. So that was perhaps a turning point, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But from your point of view, I think you felt perhaps you had chances against Liverpool, and that might have been increased by the fact they went at full strength.
Well, we had one or two chances, didn't we, and they did, so, I mean, I think it was a fair result, and I think that I'm very pleased with the Aston Villa players. We've done well, and now it's getting on to our priority, which is a return to the First Division.
How about the old boy, John Barnes, putting one over his former manager?
Well, I don't know whether he's put one over me, you know. He wouldn't have been in that place if I hadn't sort of whacked him 2 or 3 years ago. Great header. And, yeah, I mean, John is a good player, and he's, as I've said so many times now, he's got the football world at his feet, and I hope he goes on to do whatever he wants to do.
Thanks for coming out and giving the Villa point of view.
OK, thanks a lot.
Graham Taylor there talking to Jim Rosenthal. Hey, you didn't actually back your man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I know Peter Beardsley played well, Barnsley played well, but for my man of the match, definitely Steve McMahon, an old Villa player and one that I played with here. I thought he had an absolutely tremendous game. He was involved in everything, and I would definitely give it to him.
Very quickly, Liverpool for the First Division Championship and Villa for the second.
I think so. I think we've seen 2 championship winning sides today. First Division Liverpool, Second Division Villa. I think Villa will win it. And I'm sure Graham Taylor in his own way is not too disappointed when out.
Andy, thanks very much indeed. More Cup football on Midweek Sports Special on Wednesday. And next week, the big match live, Everton against Arsenal in the Littlewoods Cup semi-final. Bye-bye.